Right, in my last video I showed how to make this screw top container here using plumbing fittings and this mandrel here to make the lid. Today I'm going to show you how I finish off the lids and make the cylinder part. And in that video I showed how to turn down an actual nut for the lid. Some people thought that I used a blanking cap to make up this one, but I don't do that. When I get the finished component like this, I bore out the end here and make a component that fits into that one. I solder it in and then I put it back up on the mandrel and face and turn the end. And that helps to keep costs down because you don't have to buy up the blanking caps that you get in plumbing. You can just use the ordinary nuts like I've shown. Plus, if you watch the video to the end, you'll see that you don't have to limit yourself to buying these straight through plumbing connectors when making these containers. You can buy them like this as well, the angled ones. So if you watched that last video, this is the stage that I got to in making the screw cap. And I'm going to make this one a little bit different. I'm going to give it a bit of extra character by insetting a coin in the end. I've got this nice one here, an Irish coin with a picture of a horse on it. And I'm going to be using one of these boring bars here. You can get these on eBay or from Banggood or whatever. They're brazed on carbide and I've ground mine up so that there's no radius. And that's so when it's bored, the coin will push right up against the shoulder and won't clash on a radius. You can see there that is a very sharp looking tool. And when you're machining something like this, it's good to use one of these permanent markers to mark up the bore, particularly when the metal's shiny. It's much easier to see exactly what you're cutting. And when you're machining one of these, it's best to do the bore to a certain depth first, so it's shallow. When the bore's finished, the correct size, diameter, just skim the back shoulder here until you get the correct depth, which is the width of the coin, or a fraction deeper. And that's because there's an angle at the back of the plumbing fitting like that, and it's very easy to actually go too deep. And before I push the coin in, I always check to see what will be visible from the inside of the cap. If it's missing some of the writing or whatever, you can just put this one back up and skim out the shoulder here a bit. You only need a little bit of a land for the coin to sit on. So bore it out until you can see all the writing on the coin. So now I can push mine in like that, and that's the screw cap finished. If you make it so that they're slightly looser, you can always use a bit of Loctite 638 around the diameter. And if they're a really good fit, you can use a piece of Delrin or nylon just a bit smaller than the diameter of the coin, nice and flat on the front face, and then use the tailstock to push it home. So at the moment I've run out of the straight through plumbing fittings. Well, I can't find any anyway, I've got some somewhere. So I use one of these right angle ones hacksaw down through the angle there, and then hacksaw the end off there so you can get the two ends out of that one. And when you're sawing them, you can put a nut on the end to hold them in the vise. I've made one with a split right the way through, so that when I put it in the vise and do that one up, it locks it solid on the thread and stops it from slipping. So I can just hold on the flats here and saw down through. So that's what they look like on the first cut, and then put it up in the nut again and the vise and saw it off like that, and then you'll have enough material to actually machine still. So now I've got a brass bar end in the jaws there, which I've drilled and bored out to fit the part that I've just made. So it's a nice fit on that one. And now I'll put Loctite around the diameter here and just push that one together. So that's the finished container. I've done some decorative grooves on the diameter. There's the screw top with the horse on the outside and the harp on the inside. And that's it.